Hey everybody. Good morning out there. Gotta look right. Alright. Enough of that. Why do I even do that? Probably pisses people off more than it does any good. I try to act like I have it like I have an introduction, right? Because this the improv. This the improv channel. That's much too hot. Get a cup of coffee. Thank you everybody for joining me. I appreciate your support, and we rock and roll. That's what we do, and we rise each other up. That's what we also do here. Yeah, entertainment and mob and all that. That's fun. Everybody loves that shit, but we also want to rise each other up at the same time. Let's just not be, that focused, even though people love it. People love it, but I did a thing on the Mafia, and drug dealing that went on, which they all tried to ignore. I just did one yesterday or the day before. I did the World Cup briefly. United States beat Iran 1-0 in the World Cup. I ain't got nothing against Iran, but it'd be like, geez, Iran's got a soccer team? Thought they were a bunch of, never mind, good people in every race. So, yeah, I did that video, and I wanted to elaborate. Hey, Mr. Swan, I want to touch upon the FBI, the drug dealing, and the FBI informants. And when I was running around and I was at that office, there was a guy that was doing, we sold steel, steel for buildings, brokerage, but it was also a bookmaking operation. And the guy I worked for had brung in this guy for work release on parole, Robert K. And the FBI would come to the office to see if he was showing up to fulfill his commitments of parole and work and all that bullshit. And so when that happened, an FBI agent came in. Originally, it was a man and a woman agent. And then after that, it was a woman. And I got to know her pretty personal. I got to know her pretty intimately. I never said anything about, I never gave her information on whatever the hell was going on. They knew more than me, probably. But the FBI informants, now this guy was coming into the office, this Polish guy, Robert K. And I believe he was working with, I saw documents later on, 20 years later, 30 years later, that what a convoluted thing he was involved in. And then eventually he didn't make it. He hustled the wrong person. And he disappeared. I don't know where he went. He took a vacation somewhere, but he never came back. He disappeared. I don't know. They got him though, in some aspect. So the drug dealing back then, when I knew guys that were, I saw it in my car. These guys in the crew, these crews, I saw it in my car. And then I knew the FBI agent that was coming in the office. I was seeing her outside privately. but I wasn't giving her any information. We were both trying to pick each other's brains, but we got to be close. We got to be close. You want to read that story? Go buy the book, They Dead Missed. I ain't unpacking that shit right now. It's too early in the morning, my dear friends. It'll be too early every morning to unpack that. But they were frowning upon the drugs into your face, but behind the scenes, another guy that Robert K. conned. He told them that while he was in prison, he became an expert on the stock market and everything. And this other boss from another family put up a ton of money for him, and they robbed the money. They robbed the money from this psychopath boss from another close by family, more or less in the central Rochester area. And pretty ballsy move. But that's in the book. I'm not selling books. I'm selling books, but I'm not telling it. But they knew, like the FBI agent that I knew, the lady, she would tell me a lot of different things. And then she would talk about this Robert K. And I was like, how do you guys let him? You guys obviously let him out to be a infiltrator in this gambling ring to just however you want to use him. And anybody could see that. I don't know why the guy the owner of the office, Mike S, not Mike Francis, Mike S. I don't know why he would let him in. They're both trying to con each other, maybe. I don't know. But this Robert K. was the same guy that robbed his parents' life savings and bet the Buffalo Bills $250,000 and more on the Buffalo Bills when they lost the Super Bowl. And he's in a federal penitentiary in Texas, this Robert K. And then he ends up at our office in Buffalo. How convenient. And then here come the FBI in to make sure he's doing his commitments. And a lot of the bosses were in with the FBI. They're handing out 20-year sentences. Now, these guys in the Falls were getting a little too big for the britches, trying to sell drugs. And this other guy, this other boss or kingpin or whatever was doing deals. These families were cross-section. They were crossing over and doing deals together. I found out later. And the same guy, his last name was Morelli, and he was a hardcore dude. And it was just like they all put their faith in this Robert K, Polish guy, and it was like a circle jerk of a big con game circle jerk. And I was in there, you're trying to sell steel and run a couple of errands here and there, and I was just being exposed to it all. And then I was close to the lady agent. The other man, the male FBI agent, never came back. It was just one FBI agent that came in, and she knew more information that, of course, somebody else she was in bed with the mob. She was gathering bits and pieces from here or there and everywhere else. And it was just like, But I made sure, hey, good morning, Mario. I made sure that all my dealings, I know me and her got very friendly together, but I always made sure I never let my guard down to incriminate myself on anything. And sometimes we'd play a little cat and mouse, and I'd be like, Steph, don't even try it, honey. Don't even try it. I don't do nothing but try to sell steel here or whatever. And if you think you got something on me, it'd be a DA wouldn't even want to pursue penny ante bullshit. So the informants were running all over the place, all over. And old man Sam, the boss, he knew. They all knew because maybe Sam, the boss, was in bed with the FBI before when I was in diapers. People see the YouTube world don't understand that. The viewers. They deny it. Yeah, I never made statements on anybody as far as that was concerned. I saw this attractive FBI, and I told her right off the bat, no, she was like, well, we could go eat and we can go have a relationship and be friendly and everything. And she became very resourceful to me on giving me privileged information on when them guys were thinking about taking me out with wiretape saying, what's that JoJo know? You know, so I maximized my resources to stay alive. They couldn't play chess with me, not them clowns or the FBI. And then there was a point in time where she didn't try to trap me into anything. She truly liked me as a person. Forget about Mafia, forget about FBI. Out in the regular world, we liked each other as man and woman. We liked each other. Like, you know, there's other, you know, aspects of life, but they were informing, they were drug dealing, and there was cross sections of different families. And I did that video. That guy had a big freaking bag of cocaine, and that went to Mr. Morelli. Somewhere down the line, it must have. Who do you think these people are going to run drug networks and gambling rings and drug rings? They want all the money on every racket they can get. It's like, oh, we'll just handle sports bets, but we're not gonna get involved in any other rackets. No, they want all the money, all the money. But when you increase that risk, you get pinched, you get arrested, then you start giving the FBI information and things like that. And I'll just do follow-up stories. I'll run a little series of stories starting today where first the guy, Robert K., shows up in the office. And then the other guy shows up. You know, I'll just do chronological, maybe 20-minute videos starting tomorrow of that story, which is in the book. But I'll just commentate on the tidbits of what's in that chronological order of how that went down, more or less. Because you chiselers don't want to buy the book anyways. You're just panhandlers, that's all. Please forgive me. I don't have a filter, but they're all interested in mob stories and everything else. Yeah, go spend $10 on a book and get the real juice. Sit up there. Never mind. Forgive me, folks. Forgive me. Human nature is fascinating. And when it comes to money, people really brace up. people freeze up. Buy the book. It's $10. It's like kryptonite. Superman to kryptonite to Superman. I mean, it's $10. Yeah. You got your communion money from when you were 10 years old. Come on, folks. Come on. You want the real juice? It'll be a movie in 3 years, that book. And then that's whatever happens. But drug dealing and the informants were all over the place. And I would say Sam, somewhere along the line, the boss, Western New York, he might have been involved a little bit because he had more information than I thought when things were getting a little crazy and shaky toward the end. He shrugged it off like he knew. The only way he could know if he was with the FBI. Somebody was, what is the information and what is the source of the information and how a person obtained that information? It's a chess game. Some of these guys are running around. They don't know shit. They're just running around doing their things and they're not stopping and thinking to connect the dots. Wait a minute, hold on. Why would somebody say this? Wait, what about? No. I mean, there are some hard ass intelligent IQ people out there, but I'd have to say 20%. 20% were the ones that survived getting whacked and going to prison. 20% of thinkers and knowing when to hold them, knowing when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. All right, the gambler, Kenny Rogers, the great. So they thought they were thinkers. They were thinkers. All right. And I'm gonna set up a structure of a little series, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 of and get a game plan. I just do these, with nothing. No, I don't do it with any notes, but I want to do that. And the part 1. These are the players. This is what's going on. Part 2, this is the players. This is what's going on. And just take you for a nice ride. All right. I'm going to take you a ride right to the river and dump you off. You could go to the river in the front seat of the car, or you could go to the river in the trunk of the car. The bones that are on the bottom of that river, God forgive me, God rest their souls. But at the end of all that, my friend, lady friend, the FBI agent, she was just telling me, well, this person's dead. This person's missing. Like, 6 people, 4 are confirmed dead and 2 are missing. Well, they're dead too. So 6 of 6, they're batting 1,000 that they did a shift of power from New York to the Falls once upon a time. And the New York people who I knew intimately, they knew that there were so many bad actors. The old man retired, the boss retired, and there were so many bad actors corrupted with FBI and they just took them all out and they sent a couple guys up here to run that and get that on smooth, firm ground. Then a lot of bad apples in the crew. Everything that a mafia does, that the mob doesn't want, was going on there. So that whole militia disappeared, and then the new regime came in, and then they running it, and then I was all done with that. I made a couple moves after that out of greed and money, but they wanted me to move to New York and set up and everything. But I was like, I've had enough of that shit. I did the sign of the cross, Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, everything. Whew. That's that. It's all in the book. It's a good read. They Dead Missed. Do you understand English? Do you know how to read? Huh? It's just so much easier just to get it for free and just watch me get up here and talk my ass off. And I'm going to do that this week. So you don't have to buy the book. I'm going to do the audio book. Page by page and bore the shit out of you. Nah, it's the best story just for writing ability, and just I got abilities. I can write. I consider myself the greatest author on the planet. Wouldn't you assume that anyways? I thank you, Mr. Leon, and I thank you, Mr. Mario. I talk real shit. I talk some shit down here, but I am an appreciative person. And the people are crazy for mob stories, and I got the craziest stories ever. And they shy away from the FBI, and they just say limited things. They didn't cooperate and everything. Well, they know Sammy the Bull was the biggest cooperator, rat, and all that. And Mike Francis, he just tiptoes over that and doesn't say he informed and anything like that. Well, that's for you folks to decide. I have first account information on that because I was intimate with the FBI. And I know they would play little tricks and try to set people up and this and that and be very meticulous and cerebral on putting little Scooby snacks out there and see if you take the bait or see what you say. It's a complete game of mental hopscotch, chess game, cerebral chess game. And you got to know how to bob and weave in that arena. Don't get in the ring. If you can't bob or weave, you'll be dead or you'll be in prison. That's the bottom line. So we'll touch upon that this week, the next upcoming days, and I'll just get my notes. I'll make some notes, and I'll just touch upon certain interesting things, and we'll go through the whole, more or less. Well, there's other stuff. I can't do the whole book, but I'll get the PowerPoints, and we'll rock and roll on that shit. But they would expect me to lie and say, no, I never dealt with the. I didn't give them crucial information. They asked about the guy that was on parole, Robert K., that came into the office. And they would ask about him, but I think he conned the FBI because he said he would infiltrate us and give them information. And he conned another boss from another family to put up a ton of money for the stock market. He conned him. And there's the whole story about them approaching me, thinking I was in cahoots with them, Tony M. And I was in the middle of it all. And I was broke, just making a couple dollars here and there. And they're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars, scheming on each other. But it is a great, it would be a great movie. It would be a great movie. Someday it might be. Who knows? Who knows? If somebody bought my book, a producer, they'd want to make it a movie. 1 to 9, they'd want to make it a movie. Hey, Fred. How you feeling this morning? It's a little overcast here, but it's always partly sunny no matter what. And so, yeah, I'll do that. Crazy, convoluted story with the drug dealing, the informants, what was going on when I was there between the FBI. I knew her. We were hanging out together. the Niagara Falls, that boss, another boss from Central New York, another family, the New York family, and you know, some crime families just had a ongoing relationship with the FBI for decades. There's no way around it. There's just no way around it because at any day they could come and just handcuff you and make up a bullshit charge and you're going to go do 10 years just for talking to another person. They say that was conspiracy. So I hope we're connected. I knew exactly what I was doing, and I knew what she was. I knew what her agenda was, and she knew exactly what we both knew what we were doing. But we got to like each other. And when I heard the tapes, you know, we were out of town hanging out, and she was like, "Oh, really, really, Joe, really? Well, here, listen to this, listen to that, listen to this," and it was sounding like some of the people on the tapes were defending me. And then some of them were saying, F him. I never liked him. F him. And it was like, But it didn't put me in a position to rap because I really couldn't pinpoint anything on them. It would have just been circumstantial bullshit. And then, you know, a lot of other things happened, and we'll get to that at the end of the, you know, as we go on. So you're going to have to keep watching, folks. Part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6, because what I've realized is that I'm doing these long videos, and it's painstaking at times, and I could just do a 12-minute part 1, a 12-minute part 2, and give myself a little break versus giving you all the juice in 1 hour-long video. I'm getting old, folks. Getting too old for that. So I appreciate my people coming in here. And so when you watch these channels, mob channels and all that stuff, a lot of the families dealt drugs, like I mentioned before. And a lot of them were in bed with the FBI. And a lot of them don't want to admit it. Mike Francis, you watch his channel, and I when I was running around doing errands or whatnot, this and that, and I run into him and a couple times and had some encounters with Mike, and God bless him, he's doing his thing, but a lot of them like to shy away from FBI stuff, and like they didn't. Like when Mike Francis and Sammy the Bull were on VLAD, they were MFing each other on who cooperated. And Sammy the Bull was saying, Mike, you cooperated. And Mike was saying he never cooperated. If I had to guess, I would tell my viewers, yeah, Mike Francis cooperated. I don't give a shit what he tells his viewers and his whatever over there. I don't give a shit. You don't even need me to tell you if you were going to guess. We all know Sammy the Bull was a big rat. But, you know, the informants. And then when Mike Francis got that $1 billion from the tax scheme, gas tax scheme, he had money to buy a lot of people off, pay a lot of people off. A ton. The bribes and everything else. So smart guy. God bless. Why not? Wouldn't you do it too? I mean, people could bash him and talk shit, but at the end of the day, whatever Mike Francis did, he's still alive in the 70s and he's living good and he's worth $1 billion. So whatever he did, he was smart enough to get to that point. At the end of the day, he was smart enough to make it that far. and be sitting on them. Who knows how much money? If we think it's $1 billion, it's 5 billion. Multiply it. Whatever they tell you, multiply it because they're lying. All right. Good morning, Victor. So them guys was they were informant, and at the end of the day, Sam, the boss of a captain of the Colombo family in New York, but he was the boss of this area, and it just shattered my impression where I finally realized that yes, he must have cooperated with the FBI along the line. Because in a weird way, he knew that I was seeing the agent. It might have been his agent. You see? And you're in the mix doing things, and then you're afraid about something, but the next guy or boss, that might be the same FBI agent that they're dealing with. And I hope he don't find out. Because he more or less said before he retired, yeah, I knew what you were doing. I thought they were gonna want to kill me. But he was like, no, I knew what you were doing. If you handle it good, you're very smart about that. Okay. Jeez. Wow, just insanity, complete insanity. And yeah, it was a real unique, very interesting story that happened at that office where the bookmaking was going on, and it was actually a legitimate steel brokerage for selling steel, and it was legitimate, profitable, legal enterprise, but it was a gambling enterprise. And I went there to do legitimate work as a sales representative, and then I just got greedy and wanted more money. And all these actors and players started coming into the office, and I was like, what the hell's going on here? And what a roller coaster ride that was. And I'll speak on that stuff again. It's in older videos, but I'm getting new subscribers that don't go back to those old videos, and I'll refresh their memories with that. We'll do that this week because I know I got new subscribers that don't go back and look at the old ones. So then we'll just keep the ball rolling. All right, folks. So we'll do that in the next couple of videos. So I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, Mario. We're over 300, and we're just going to do it. We're going to hang out and tell some stories and do what we do. All right. So you guys have a great day. Everybody hang in there. Be the kings and queens of your world. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. It's partly cloudy, but it's partly sunny. All right. It's not partly cloudy. It's overcast, but it's sunny here. So that's what we're going to do. And stay strong. Don't give up. The world is a vampire. It wants that blood. No, let's stay strong. We'll talk about gang stories. And I'm going to get more detailed on this particular story that is just as good as any mob story you ever heard. I mean, it would be a great movie. And if I acted in it, I would probably win an Oscar award. I can't even get the lighting right here, my dear friends. So we're going to elaborate a little deeper. And because what I want to stress also is the emotionality of when you're involved and participating in this stuff. You see characters and you hear stories and you just see that visually like, oh, okay. But the emotionality of behind the scenes of what you're thinking about this shit all day long. Well, that Tony said something. What did he really mean? Was he just joking or what? The emotionality aspect on dealing in this environment with these actors and characters. I mean, I say actors not as a Hollywood actor, but actors as personalities, and 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 you're in the middle of it all, and it's the emotionality of being around dangerous people, and you're around the FBI, so you're dealing with two enterprises that can put you down in the ground or in the pen, and there's much more emotionality to it. So we'll touch upon that. So, all right, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it all. I'm gonna start structuring these a little better and have part 1, part 2, part 3, and we're gonna do that the next time. So that's where we're at here. Thanks a lot, folks. I'll check back, and I appreciate your support. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, and all that. Thanks a lot, folks. God bless you.